Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Williams Franklin Foundation Share the Love. It is the 2022 February Black History Month, and we are here and excited to share with you some exciting things about the Williams Franklin Foundation and three phenomenal HBCU students. And for those that
And
don't know,
graduate.
and graduate, that's
That's
right.
right.
And for those that don't know, HBCU stands for Historically Black College and University. And we are the Williams Franklin Foundation, and we provide scholarships, mentoring, networking, and internship opportunities to awardees from the Williams Franklin Foundation. And I am one of the co-founders, but started by this wonderful woman here from her life story. Hopefully, one day you get to hear it. You can always go to our website and hear the story. This is my lovely wife, LaShelle. We call her Shelly, Shelly Franklin.
Hey, everybody. Hey, Facebook family and friends. We're so happy that you're here to join us again. And this is Dwight, my husband and co-founder of the foundation. And we're so excited to be able to have an opportunity to really showcase and highlight some of the excellence and brilliance that comes out of HBCUs, and just our love for it. So I graduated from Howard University in 1996. And that's where I met the love of my life, Dwight. And that's where our love started. And it continued to blossom from there with our beautiful family that includes three children. And another outgrowth of our love was the creation of the Williams Franklin Foundation. And from that, we've developed a wonderful board of 11 board of directors. And we've had over 80 students that we've been able to have in our program and to be recipients of our scholarship. We provided them with professional development, assisted them with internships, and so much more to students who really have that true grit. And but for having the funds for their scholarship or for their tuition, they wouldn't be able to graduate and go on to do the wonderful things that they are already beginning to do, that we're beginning to see, and that they will continue to do. So without further ado, we want to share the love with you about three wonderful people who've been participants of the Williams Franklin Foundation.
And we are going to introduce them all to you all. And we'll start off by starting with Naya Love. And Naya, if you could, we are going to tell everybody who you are, where you're from, what HBC you go to, and what year you are.
Alrighty, hey everybody, my name is Naya Love. I'm a sophomore biology major at the Dillard University in New Orleans, and I'm from Little Rock, Arkansas.
Little Rock, all right, all
All
right.
right.
And we're gonna go to Marvelous because ladies are first to Marvelous. We're going to Marvelous next. Go ahead, Marvelous, introduce yourself.
Yes, hello everyone. My name is Marvelous. I graduated from Morgan State University with a degree in psychology and a minor in chemistry, class of 2020. I'm currently at George Washington University for my master's in biomedical informatics, and I am from Maryland.
Very nice, very nice, very nice. DeMarco, you're next.
Hey guys, my name is DeMarco Smith. I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana. I went to Xavier University and I'm dual degree, so I'm getting a chemistry and chemical engineering degree. So right now I'm in engineering school at LSU.
And as you all can
Awesome.
tell, we have some powerhouse intellectuals here today. So this is exciting. And what we're going to do is go through a round of asking you all some questions and just have fun. We're going to share with our Facebook family and those watching. We're going to share your love and our love for you all with everybody else. Okay? All right.
All right. So without further ado, we will begin with the first question. So how will or has your education benefited your family and or your community? And let's start with DeMarco.
Okay, so by completing my degree in educational goals, I will become the first in my family to attain a bachelor's degree, one. So that's really good. And I hope to inspire students like me, no matter what your background is or what things you go to, just to keep pushing forward to get your degree. And I want to be able to give back to my community.
Thank you for that, DeMarco. And it's a beautiful thing. I know the feeling to be the first graduate of your family, college grad of your family. That's quite a success. I'm sure your family is so incredibly proud of you, and you're going to go on to do great things because I know that's not an easy feat. So Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Yeah. And let's go on to Naya Love.
Hey, so as I stated, I'm a sophomore biology major and I aspire to be a pediatrician. A big part of why I do what I do is to alleviate health disparities within the Black community, particularly because our problems are often overlooked when it comes to being in the office with physicians. Just earlier today, thinking about it, I watched a video of a young woman who saw a doctor who looked like her, and seeing stuff like that can make a big impact, especially seeing there is a small number of African American women within the healthcare field.
That's a great point, and that's just such a great contribution that you'll make in the near future to our community. And so, that's one of the things that we really try to do through our mentor matching program is we try to match up our awardees with professionals that look like them, because studies show that when we have people who look like us that go into the fields we're in, we're more likely to succeed. So kudos to you. Thank you for that, Naya. And Marvelous. So let us know.
Definitely. So I graduated from Morgan again, class of 2020, with a psych degree and a minor in chemistry. But I have a research background, and I think one thing that my degree has allowed me to do over this past couple of years is making research, using research to make informed decision. This is something that I think is very important, especially within minorities. So my previous job was working as an health analyst to provide resources and using data to provide resources to minorities who are were not necessarily inclined to take the COVID vaccine. And using this information could help, again, back to what Naya said, just help our community be more informed as to what's going on at wise. So,
Very nice, very nice, very nice. You guys are doing it, doing it, doing it.
Yeah, that's great. One of the partnerships we have is actually with the Harvard University Dana Farber Center, where it's a research program where we partner with them to actually provide summer internships, paid summer internships to our awardees, so that they can focus on STEM research, particularly as it relates to cancer. And those, I think one of our awardees, Gabrielle Fortune, she actually did an internship with them last summer, with a focus on the health disparities as it relates to cancer within the Black community. So good work, Marvelous.
All right, I'm gonna ask the next question. What is or was your favorite thing about your HBCU, and in your case, Marvelous, your alma mater, and why did you choose that particular HBCU? Let's start it off with the market one first, right? Let's start off with Naya.
Okay, so during the time when I was trying to make a decision about where to go for college, COVID had just hit. I didn't have a graduation. I was class of 2020. I was devastated about a lot of things. I didn't get a prom, the senior banquet thing after thing was getting canceled. And so for me, Dillard was the choice, was because when I was going through all that paperwork and COVID slowed things down, they were patient and they were kind and they listened to me and my concerns, and they didn't make me feel as if I was being dramatic for feeling the way I did about not having a graduation. And then after that, prior to coming to Dillard, I participated in a STEM program over the summer, and that just made me feel like I had a home away from home. I felt the family feel from the STEM faculty there. And even now on campus, the relationship amongst all the STEM majors and the faculty has helped me succeed.
Oh, that's beautiful. We hear that a lot, and I think my wife and I felt the same way about Howard in terms of the family feel, the love, and then putting their arms around you and making you feel as though you were important and are important. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. All right, Marva, so I'm gonna go to you.
definitely, I chose Morgan specifically because of the financial aspect. One, I knew for a fact when I was choosing college, I wanted to be close to home. So my parents have always been in Maryland. Going outside of Maryland wasn't really out of the options for me. But Morgan was very, very cost wise. Morgan was very cheap. I had scholarships also that also helped offset some of the costs. So my biggest thing or my biggest reason for choosing Morgan was financial and being close to home.
Cool. Now, what was it? What when you were at Morgan? What did you like the most about Morgan?
Everything, honestly. I think one thing about Morgan that I absolutely love is the family. As a psych student, I wasn't a normal psych student, so I was a psych student pre med. also chemistry minor. So I had my hands in different departments. I was in the science department. I was on the computer science department because of my research part, because I was working on machine learning projects. And that allowed me to build different network, different family. And just having that resources, knowing I could go into someone's office and just sit there and like, life is not going right, or this class is not, I don't think I'm going to pass organic chemistry this year. Or just having that network or that person or professor to go into. And with my psych professor, one of my psych professors, she is from the island, so she's from Trinidad, and she basically would speak to me like I was her child. I'm like, so like, I know your parents don't think you're doing that. And she's like, I'm going to call your mom. I'm going to call your mom. Having that person, yeah, she literally would say, personally still even have her number. So having that connection and having those people behind me, always rooting for me, always having my back and providing as much resources, support that I possibly need was great. Even when things weren't going the way I thought it was going to go, just walking into one of my professor's office, that she's one of the hardest psych professors I've ever had, and walking in on the verge of tears, and she basically just helped me out. She said, Marvelous, you're this, you're that, this is the resources in front of you, and just helping me in whatever little way she could at that moment. So that would be
beautiful.
Yeah.
That is beautiful.
That is beautiful. I can attest to that, and I'm sure a lot of people at HBCUs can. It's like when you join that HBCU community, you all of a sudden gain all these new aunties and uncles, godfathers, godmothers,
cousins, brothers, sisters, neighbors, friend.
Yeah, because it's like everybody's pulling for you. Everybody's pulling for you. So I'm so thankful you've had that experience at Morgan.
Yep. All right, DeMarco, you're next.
Okay, so technically with me, I wanted to leave Louisiana. I wanted to go far away and just get out and experience things. But I got sick my senior year of high school and had a lot of surgeries. So then I was looking for something more local to stay close to my doctor's office and things. So then like my family recommended Xavier. So like when I got to Xavier, it just felt like home at that point. I was just like, whoa, like this is me. This is where I belong. So it's, in a sense, it's like Xavier chose me. I didn't choose Xavier. And I like, and the lesson like I really liked about it that I learned while going there, I learned like the friendships, the culture. I love it there. It was very helpful. It's like a community, as you guys said before. Like your professors, they willing to give you like their numbers. You can hit them up personally. It's like everyone you go with class, you guys see each other the next class after that. It's all the same people and things like that.
Oh, that's wonderful. Wonderful. So Xavier reached down and said, "You're coming here." That's wonderful. I love it.
That's great. But honestly, I felt the same way. As soon as I walked on Howard's campus, it was completely by it wasn't accident, but it wasn't my plan. I'll put it that way. It was just like, oh, you're in town. Let's go up to Howard and let's just check out Howard. And as soon as I walked on the campus, and I was only in maybe the 10th grade, and I was just like, oh my God, this is it. And it was a summer on top of that. So it was like nobody there. But I feel like you did the same thing, DeMarco. I felt as soon as I walked on the campus, it chose me as much as I chose Howard. So yeah.
And I was kind of similar to you. Like I grew up in DC. Howard is in DC. And during that time, DC was the murder capital of the world for 2 years in a row. And I was like, there is no way I'm going to Howard University. I'm going out. No. It's a long story. But I ended up going to Howard, got a full scholarship, and the rest was history. And it was the best decision I ever made in my life. So I love it.
Cool. All right. So on to the third question. So I'll start with Marvelous. What was your favorite thing? I think you kind of said about your alma mater. I think you kind of said it, but if you want to add anything to it outside of the financial benefit that drew you.
Favorite thing? The students would be another one. I think going through certain classes, for example, organic chemistry, biochemistry 1 and 2, going through certain classes and knowing we're all struggling together. There was necessarily no bad competition. Even if there was, it wasn't bad competition. I don't know if that makes sense, but it was good competition. Like we wanted each other to be the best. So we would be in. So for Morgan, we had something called a student research center. It was like a little study environment, and we would be in there from morning to night trying to pass our organic chemistry exam. and someone else is teaching somebody else, and it's like it might be it's basically like a rotation shift. Like I'm teaching from 9 to 3, somebody else is teaching from 3 to like we're basically this exam, we're passing it because we know if we don't, we're getting left behind. So but even if you did not pass, it was like we were still willing to help the person that was in class with us and coming back and just reteaching and doing whatever things that needed to be done. That would be one of my biggest things. Another thing would also be also knowing my professor support. I think for me, I was very heavy in research. I was also very, very busy student. I had so much leadership opportunities, but it got to some point where I also kind of got into trouble with some of my research stuff and having my professor saying it's okay, Marvelous, we're going to fight it, and she was just like, you don't have to say nothing because she's one of those tough professors at Morgan State University, and I didn't think she was going to have my back because it was one thing about one thing about her is she's very, very, when it comes to her name, she's very, very protective of it. But she said, no, I'm going out on a limb for you, and I had every single one of my professors do that for me to make sure she didn't do anything wrong. Marvelous did this and this, and she said, "You don't have to say nothing. I got you." I felt like I had a lawyer on my side. That was phenomenal. But yeah, just the resources, the people, and not even necessarily professor wise too. Just sometimes people, administration, having someone we could go into like classes that I'm taking. I don't really think this professor is working for me, or in terms of financial aid, I think I need extra time when it comes to certain things, or I don't have the money right now. Is there some way around it? And someone's always willing to help, and I think that's the biggest thing for me in my HBCU.
That's great. That's great. Nice. You know, I mean, again, that's a part of the beauty of the HBCUs. Two things that rang out about what you said was one, the peer-to-peer relationship, where whether you're both doing well or one is struggling, you know, you help to hold each other up. And so I hope for all of you, you know, one thing that you really get from your HBCU experience, which I think you will, is just that sense of family that we all talk about and share, but also that notion that even once you get yours, whether it's that grade or whether it's that degree or that job, that you don't forget to, you know, reach back and pull someone else up and thrust them forward with you, because there's room for all of us. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, it was you brought me back to my times at Howard in engineering, and 2, 3, 4 in the morning, and you can't figure something out, and you're there with your study partners, and I had a bunch of them. If it wasn't for all of them, I wouldn't have made it. You know, and everybody helped each other, and it wasn't about trying to hold the knowledge to yourself.
Right.
It was about sharing it and pulling people up, just like you just said. You know, and if any of you all are watching, you know who you are. Thank you.
It was a group effort.
It was a group effort. That's right.
All right, Naya, you're next. So let us know, you know, something, your favorite thing about your HBCU and why you chose it, kind of an elaboration on the past question.
Just like Marvelous said, the student feel with Dillard being a smaller HBCU too, you see some of the same people in class. So you're like, hey girl, I just saw you. You want to get together later and study? That type of thing. Like my mom called me the other day and I had just been in the study room in the library for 4 out of 6 hours. Me and my friends were there doing organic chemistry, like Marvelous said, because we were determined to make that make sense. And all of us in there, at some point, all of us gave up and we were like, no, girl, you're not going to give up. We're going to make this make sense. We hold each other accountable. So it's friendly competition. It's not like I'm better than you. Let's do this. Let's do that. I know it makes sense to me, so I'm leaving. It's not like that. We're going to lift each other up and make sure the other one understands to the best of their ability, because we all want to get out of here. And we all know we have dreams and goals that we aspire towards.
That's right. Wonderful.
Beautiful.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Yeah.
All right, DeMarco, you're last. Let us know. What's your favorite thing?
Actually, my favorite thing is, well, it is the students, but I like the fact that when you meet the students, you get to learn all the new cultures and new things about people. And also they can teach you things to be able to learn about yourself, or just to learn for real world times or anything else like that. And I also like the fact that, like, say, for instance, when you make friends and stuff like that, they can bring you back to home where they're from and show you their culture and introduce you to that. And then also another thing I like about Xavier a lot that I really appreciate is their rigorous classes, their program. Although it was hard, it was like, so they had me up at like a lot of nights and mornings just thinking about it and practicing classes and then different assignments and things like that. it prepared me for engineering school. But now that I'm in engineering school, it's really easy for me because I did all the hard work already and put in the work, and now I know it.
Nice.
That's wonderful.
Nice.
You spoke about the rigor of HBCUs, which I think we all can attest to. I definitely think sometimes, some people underestimate the curriculum provided at HBCUs, but it's as rigorous as any other. It takes a lot to get into them. We only take the cream of the crop. So if you're there, you definitely deserved it. And if you're going to remain there, you're going to continue to work hard for it. So that is such a testament to that HBCU experience. And then also the fact that we're not a monolith, right?
Say, yeah.
So even though, maybe the majority of people at your HBCU are Black people, but not all Black people are the exact same. We come from different parts of the country, even different parts of the world, different family settings, etc. So good point. Good point. Yeah.
Yeah. You took the words out of my mouth.
Yeah.
I was going to say that. Yeah. All right. The next question is, what has been a highlight of your college experience? And let's start with DeMarco.
Well, my highlight of my college experience, as I said before, is my friends. I love my friends. I love the fact that how I met them, because I know you guys have ever heard that saying, like when you go to college, that's your friend, that's your forever friends you meet in college.
Yeah.
So like I love that, and then like I love the fact it's a community. Like we can work together to succeed. Everybody want to win in life. Like we all want to win. We all want to make it. So that's I love the most about it.
That's awesome. This is share the love. So you sharing the love. That's beautiful.
Share the love.
That's nice. Very nice. Very nice. All right, let's go to Marvelous.
Great. I think one thing that was my highlight would be two things, actually. Sorry. So it would be my summer internship and my study abroad experience. I was able to do 2 summer internships, again, at the University of Buffalo. And this experience what I would say has been one of the biggest career moves for me. And it has helped me put myself into environments I wouldn't necessarily put myself in again. Went to school for psychology. I am doing something completely different from psychology, where I'm working with machine learning, AI research. So what that experience at Buffalo was the trajectory or the foundation that I needed for that. And also with my study abroad program, I was able to do 2 study abroad programs. So I went to Italy, I went to Guatemala, and that has been, it's just something that it's a conversation starter. Like, oh yeah, I was in Guatemala for this. There's some community service, some health services, and it has been, oh wow, what did you do there? And it's just been something that people were very fascinated about, and it helped me also be more open-minded. And I think those are some major points for me.
So what would you say to people who are concerned about going overseas? What would be like 30 seconds? What would be your advice for anyone who's worried about it?
Do it and be open-minded. It's okay to be worried. I mean, especially, it's normal. Like your parents would be worried. I knew my parents. I went my first one. I was like, I believe I was 17. So I wasn't even 18 yet, and my parents were definitely worried. It was a phone. I had to make sure I was doing check-ins with my parents. But I would say after the first one, you become more content, and you actually have a different perspective of life. It helps you just to see that the world does not necessarily revolve around the space you're in. There's so much out there. So do it, please.
Nice. Thank you. Naya, you're next.
Like DeMarco mentioned, the friends here, a big thing going out of state. I kind of made a decision about coming to Dillard in the dark because I didn't get to visit due to COVID. And so a big thing my family and I prayed about was that I would find my people once I got here. And just so happened, another recipient, Kyla Mayo, her and I met through the STEM program I mentioned earlier, and we're still friends to this day. And so I think that strongly attests to the fact, like DeMarco said, these are your forever friends. So having her in my corner as well as other people, and then just the culture in the city, period. In New Orleans, I'm 7 hours away from home. So that was something new for me to experience.
Wow. Were you nervous when you had to go 7 hours away?
No, it wasn't the first time I've traveled alone or like this far away from home. I do get homesick, but I mean, I talk to my grandparents, my mom, I've mentioned them a lot, just about every day. So it's okay.
Very nice.
That's great. That's great. So Dwight, what was your favorite experience at Howard?
Meeting you.
Oh.
That was my favorite experience.
Oh.
You know, I mean, without you, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be doing all this fun work, meeting these kids, and I I shouldn't call you all kids.
Young
I mean,
adults.
young adults. You know, doing the work we're doing.
Doing the work we're doing. Yep.
Meeting you. That was the biggest highlight. After that was football.
As long as I'm before football.
There you go. Shout out to my HBCU, my Howard University Bison. By the way, Marvelous, Howard basketball team beat Morgan yesterday at the All-Star HBCU tournament. Just wanted you to know that. Okay, moving on to the next question.
That's messed up. All right. So I'm going to ask about your involvement in community service that really helped you to pursue your passions. If you can talk to us a little bit about that. So we'll start with Marvelous.
No comment about the first. Absolutely no comment. I would say for me, my community involvement was, again, study abroad one, I think would be if I had to rank it, would be the first one for me. But even on campus, one thing that I was doing, I was the president for Psi-Chi International Honor Society. So we had, again, mentors coming in, schools coming in for students who were interested in graduate schools. So we were actually coming to speak to students who were about to graduate or people who were thinking about going to graduate school. And that was something that was very big for me. I think for me personally, something that has helped my career was just working in a clinical aspect. And the study abroad, when I went to Guatemala, just being in the hospital, being in a different hospital where people don't necessarily have the same resources as someone in the United States. That was definitely an eye-opener for me. Same thing for Italy, just walking in and just noticing it's a different level of culture, it's a different level of treatment. It's like, wow, it's different, because when I compare with my clinical experience in the United States, it's totally two different things. But that has helped me become a better person, I would say. And also, even when I'm doing my research projects, like think about things not from a perspective of one way perspective, but multiple dimension culturally also at the same time. So
nice.
That's great.
Nice.
All right.
I wish I could have done that when I was in college. We were so afraid to. We didn't really even think about traveling overseas like you all have now. It's so
to study abroad.
I mean, it's amazing. I wish I had the foresight to do that back then. It's really wonderful you did it.
So Naya, what about you? Tell us a little bit about your involvement while you've been in school and any community service you've done that really has fed into your passion.
I do hold leadership roles on campus, particularly in MAPS. I'm a co-chair for special initiatives. So like when we partner with the blood drive down here on campus, and then I'm also the treasurer for Sisters Keeping It Real Through Service. So we're a community service-based organization for young women on campus. But I will say the thing that has been the most life-changing is being an RA or being a tutor, because both of which have taught me a lot about patience. With dealing with other people, other than myself, especially being a tutor, because I had to realize not everybody learns the same way that I do. And I think you can learn from anybody just as much as I'm teaching them. So I've learned stuff from them. I was tutoring somebody in general chemistry last week, actually, and they taught me something new on the calculator. Like, it seems like something basic, but I learned something from that person the same way I was teaching them. And then I was also tutoring a first grader. And so particularly a lot of patience there, because little kids do tend to get frustrated. But as someone who aspires to be a pediatrician, when it comes to learning about development and helping children, that was something that was helpful to me.
Nice.
Good for you.
That's great.
Good for you. Yeah, you're being a student leader, right? You know, it's like we're always being a servant leader is probably the better word, where you're serving your community, but you're also learning from your community as you're giving back. So it's that give and take relationship. That's great. That's great. What were you teaching the first grader? Was it math or reading?
Reading and English. His family isn't from the United States, so English wasn't his first language.
And you can learn a lot about yourself trying to teach little kids. They teach us a way more than we teach them.
That's great. All right, DeMarco, what about you?
Well, like Naya said, I tutor kids and things like that with an after-school program called 21st Century. So I had to tutor like a lot of kids because it was understaffed at one time. So I have to like put them in groups and ask them like to work out a problem. I'll teach them one and try to do another, let them do their on their own and things like that. So I know what it's like when you mean like teaching and having the patience for them to understand. Trust me, I get it. And then another thing is that I like to do the service when I help them is actually put a smile on their face when they actually get the right answer. It's like a light bulb in their head. It's like, like they get it. So I like that impact and things like that.
Nice.
That's beautiful. Now, you think you have plans to teach at some point in your career?
I'm not really sure.
All right. Well, you might have what it takes from that experience. That's great.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you.
All right. Our last question of the day is going to be: how do Black students at HBCU and at the HBCU community embody love for one another? Who wants to go first?
I can go first.
I think he was going for you first anyway.
So I guess love for one another, like I mentioned, we all mentioned with the classes and tutoring and study groups. But another thing is like if I'm walking around and my hair is messed up, somebody will be like, come here, girl, let me fix that for you. Because I mean, we all have similar hair textures, or we're dealing with the same things, the same problems. You got a braid out of place. Let me come fix this for you. That's not something you have to do. You can let me walk around looking crazy. And I'm sure at a PWI, you may or may not have a similar experience, but most times you're not going to have someone as readily available that knows how to do your hair or tell you like, hey girl, that's out of place, that's messed up, and no, like, say girl, your lace showing, and tell you, you know, it's not, you don't always deal with that. Or just like it's 3 a.m. and somebody can text in the residential life group chat and it's like, hey, did somebody have this? Did somebody have a sewing needle, a mask? Can somebody give me some Clorox wipes, some Lysol? We don't mind sharing that community amongst one another, helping each other out. I think just extends to the community outward with the service we spread.
That's wonderful.
That's great. And you keeping it real. That's real. You keeping it real. I love it. Keeping it real. That's wonderful.
All right, Marvelous. How about you when you were at Morgan?
I would say we're always rooting for each other. Just exactly what we've all mentioned all day. If it's one thing, even outside after graduating, walking into any room or any professional experience, as long as I am from Morgan State University and there's somebody else who's from another HBCU, I am guaranteed some level of support. And that is great to see. It is such a, especially when I compare, because I'm currently at a PWI, I'm currently at GW. So comparing that to experience, I'm able to see a clear difference. And I know for a fact there's someone behind me, any HBCU student willing to support me in that environment. Oh, I don't know how to do this. If someone within an HBCU, I can help you do this. You can do it this way, don't do it this way. Talk to that person, don't talk to this person. And that's something that has carried me throughout my Morgan career and even right now in my professional career.
Wow. Awesome.
Yep. And that's a good thing too, because like you said, you graduated from Morgan, but like you said, it's wonderful to see this much broader HBCU community you've now walked into, that it doesn't even matter if you're from Morgan anymore, just as long as it's someone else that you identify with from another HBCU, that's all anybody cares about, and immediately willing to lend a hand.
Cool. All right, DeMarco, last but not least.
Well, I like the fact that like going to HBCU is really a community, as we all said beforehand. Like we all like to work together, stick together, make sure we hold each other accountable. Because like actually going to HBCU is like we all have accountability partners. It's like we're gonna always make sure each other gets it, and if we don't get it, we're gonna work on it until we get it. We're gonna make sure we all succeed and things like that. Also, as I said beforehand, the friendship, the small class, it allows us to form bonds with one another and also to get to know one another. So that's why I like it, as I said beforehand.
Wonderful. I mean, the common thread between all three of you, and I think it resonates with my wife and I as well. We went to school about 30 years ago.
And so proud class of 1996.
And the same things that you all are saying now, the friendships, the accountability, the upliftment, the faculty and the administration working to make you feel at home and to help you and push you and challenge you, right? But at the same time, wrapping their arms around you. All of those were emblematic when we were there, and for the folks that came before us. 'Cause I remember my grandfather talking about Howard when he was there, and it's amazing to see and hear you all having very similar experiences. So the HBCU tradition, the reason why they were started, is continuing into this new millennium.
Yeah, living through you all.
Living through you all, and the future is so bright with you all, and I think I speak for Shelly and myself. We're just so excited to hear you guys, to get to know you all, and share your love and your wisdom with the world, what you're doing today. And is there anything?
No, I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much for sharing the love and sharing our love of HBCUs in general, and for the Williams Franklin Foundation. You all have been such great representatives and ambassadors. We can't thank you enough. You make us proud, but you also make us shine, so that we're in a position to help so many more students just like you. So we appreciate you, and we'll continue to be here for you because we're also part of that HBCU family now. And so for all of you out there watching, our Facebook family and friends, thank you also for participating and watching. If you'd like to learn more about the Williams Franklin Foundation or any of the wonderful people you see on the screen, please feel free to visit our website at www.wmsfranklinfoundation.org. Again, I'm LaShelle Franklin, co-founder and executive director.
And I am Dwight Franklin, the chair of the board and co-founder with my wonderful wife. All right. And thank you all. Have a wonderful Black History Month.
Yes.
And to our three panelists, you guys are wonderful. Just keep doing what you're doing. You're doing great work. And we look forward to hearing from you more and more as you all move throughout your college. And for you, Marvelous, as you know, we stay in touch with you as well.
That's right.
And keep moving.
That's right. So stay tuned, everyone. This is our first Share the Love session, but we definitely plan to continue these quarterly. So look out for the next one. Thank you. Have a good rest of the day.
Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.